Hisam won the power of veto, which means Hisam has won 3 competitions already going into week 2 here, and he placed in second in the other competitions. Now, a lot of people are comparing him to Michael from last season, but let's get one thing straight. As much as I did not like Michael last season, Michael won his competitions fair and square as the comp beast that he was. But y'all know my theories on Hisam. And Hisam winning all these competitions while he's on performance enhancing drugs, not that impressive to me. And I know a lot of people on the challenge also take performance enhancing drugs, but this isn't the challenge. This is Big Brother, and Hisam is going up against a couple of older ladies. So, like, come on. I'm not that impressed by Hisam on this cast, although he is beating some of these younger competitors, but they're probably not on HGH like he is. Hisam continues to use his HOH as a dictator. He wants his way. He wants a boring, unanimous vote. The last thing this season needs is continuing a trend of unanimous votes, or it is going to be one long, boring season. Because the feeds, when we get the feeds, they were off for a long time over the past 24 hours. But when we get the feeds, it hasn't been a great gameplay to me whatsoever. At least people are on to Hisam's dictator ways. We've seen Cirie, Jared, Izzy talk about it today. And I think there is some sense that he is doing too much while also growing the target on his back. I said a few days ago I wasn't sure if this was going to grow his target. It should have grown his target. But now that he's also just winning all these competitions, yeah, his target should be huge. And you can't blame some of his own allies maybe wanting him out sooner rather than later. I think it's pretty logical to me. We're going to get a little more into the strategy side of things here in a bit, but I just want to continue on this Hisam talk for a second. His arrogance, and he's doing everything he talks shit about Riley doing. Like, I guess maybe in Hisam's warped piece of shit mind, he thinks that just because he's doing it, it's probably more dignified than when Riley did it this way. But he's doing the same exact thing as Riley did. He wants the same exact results. And I guess maybe he's so delusional that he doesn't think anybody is going to see through this. But I guess it is what it is. Sure, he could be a big shield for a lot of these players, but he's not the type of player you want to keep around for long. I don't think so. I would try and target him pre-jury whether he was my ally or not, but also I don't play the typical Big Brother way of gotta stick with your big alliance early on in the game, as if there's not 100 different ways to win a social game like this, if not more than 100. So Cirie is now in this conundrum because she does not want Cameron to stay over Riley, and it makes sense for her game. I've been saying this for days now. For her game, it makes sense to keep Riley around for a while because I think Riley would work both with and for Cirie for at least the foreseeable future. As for Cameron, he would not do that. The other thing, though, about Hisam's dumbness, I will say, I mean, Hisam is being as dumb as he looks, like a caveman, because he's like suddenly trusting Cameron so much, and Cameron's gonna work for them. And Cameron's been going around the house for the past 2 days talking about how he wants Hisam out, how Hisam is his next target. So him keeping Cameron around, probably not the smartest thing for him either. At this point, both Cameron and Riley probably both want Hisam out, and I think they do. But he seems to be falling, one of the only people in the house falling for Cameron's stupidity, that whatever Cameron says goes, but Cameron's already turned on people and Cameron's already been lying to people. The more savvier social players catching on to Cameron. I mean, you can't trust somebody who's already turning on everybody, but Hisam wants to trust him, and in Hisam's own warped mind, he thinks he knows best, but he's actually getting played by Cameron right now. Now, Cirie's conundrum is, first, she probably has to wait until the veto nomination ceremony is complete tomorrow before she can do too much. But the unfortunate part about this is it might not be the best for her. I mean, she can't blindside Hisam. I think that might be on the dumber side unless she has more support from this her own alliance, which if Cirie's going to work her magic, she's going to have support of Felicia, Izzy, obviously Jared, and she could probably even get old girl whose name I constantly forget, who's Australian. Like, I don't even know why she's on this season because I genuinely never watch her on feeds unless he's talking to Cirie or Izzy. So she could probably get old Australian girl too, who is nothing in this season, but that is somebody else I think Cirie can get on her side over Hisam if she really needed to make this move this week. But I guess she probably would have to blindside Hisam because Hisam is so stuck in his ways already this as HOH that he can't, or Cirie would not be able to get into his head to make him see something else. He sees it his own way. He's going to be stubborn about it. And he is running this like he is the dictator of the house. I would love for Hisam to make himself the next big target. And this entire season being about the HOHs making themselves the next target. Because truly, the HOH is a very hard thing to be in Big Brother. It's hard to do it perfectly. It's hard to even do it well unless you have a extremely dumb cast. Because if you do it badly, and I feel like most HOHs are like bad, like 70% of HOHs do a pretty bad job. They get some form of HOH-itis. You never know how that HOH-itis is going to come through to everybody else, but most HOHs get some form of that HOH-itis. Hisam showing it here. But the problem, and I want Cirie to be able to do this, because I see all these people online talking about how Cirie would be dumb to go through with this just for Riley. And some of that is true. But I would love it to happen because it would blow up the entire dynamics of the game. Yes, it would be more like playing like Survivor than Big Brother, where there is a more kind of open game filled. One, because of the format. But most importantly, because unlike in Big Brother, Survivor players are able to play a more loose game without these giant alliances. Unfortunately, in Big Brother for so long now, everyone thinks that they have to be in this giant alliance at first. The only reason that works is because the outsiders either never form something against the big alliance, or the people within the big alliance are okay with being at the bottom of that big alliance until it's too late. That shit gets boring to me. I've said this many times on the channel, that shit gets boring to me. I hate big alliances. So I would love for Cirie to somehow turn this into a version of more Survivor-like gameplay, because it would make for far more interesting gameplay than what we usually get. But it would be hard for Cirie to pull off, although she has enough connections and her son in the game to make the strategic gameplay in this game a little more evolved. I would love to see it a little more evolved, a little more like the era of Survivor when they were just forming voting blocks every week to vote people out, rather than these big alliances. Everybody kind of just doing their own thing rather than these big alliances. You know, on the game on this channel, sure, it's an online game. I did a little brother game last season. Considering coming out of semi-retirement to do another. But yeah, the little brother game on this season last year showed that you can play your own game inside the structure of Big Brother. You don't have to have these giant alliances all the time. You can play your own game. So to me, it's not the structure of Big Brother that makes people think they have to have the big alliances. It is the type of people they cast who are sheep and who only seen Big Brother for the past few years and think that you just need a big alliance to dominate. The producers of the show don't help that. They like to show the cast seasons of big alliances dominating, and then they wonder why they get the same thing every year. Unfortunately for Cirie's plan, none of this is going to probably happen because she's dealing with these constant Gen Zers that can't shut up. They can't shut up. They can't shut up. Somebody in the comments got mad at me that I say the Gen Zers talk too much, but I wouldn't have to say it every day if they didn't talk too much every single day. Riley is now digging her own grave because in order for Cirie to want to possibly turn the tide this vote, she would have to do it secretly from some of the other people on her other side. She told Riley not to tell anybody that Riley was working with that she might have Cirie's vote. The problem is, Riley already told everybody because she can't stop talking. And even today, after Cirie talked to her about not telling people about this, she told people about it again and told them not to say anything. But these are the same young people that constantly say everything. So, unfortunately, I think Riley probably dug her own grave. I mean, not unfortunately. I said I wanted Riley to go this week, and I still want Riley to go this week. So, it doesn't really bother me. But I would love to see a little more fluid gameplay. And I feel like it could happen. I feel like Jag is somebody who's having these conversations with Cirie, who I think would work with Cirie in a more fluid way than some of the other people in this house, for sure. Because look, there's not no split house. This was never a split house. For a four-person alliance versus the rest of the house is not a split house. Right now it is Riley, Jag, Blue, and that's kind of it, honestly. I mean, you have Jared acting like it. You have America there. Cameron's already jumped ship. So really, I guess it's even three. Matt's who I'm forgetting. So it is four. It's Matt, Riley, Blue, and Jag against the rest of the house. That is not a split house. So it makes sense for Jag to want to be more fluid in this game. And I think he's the only one of those four that could actually pull it off. So to me, it's like if they were to go against Hisam this week, oh wow, what's Hisam going to do? Team up with Cameron, who also wants him out? Oh no, because Cameron would be out of the house. So like there's nothing that Hisam could really do. Like if you're going to go against Hisam, little I guess dictatorship, this would be the week to do it because he can't be HOH next week anyway. He's already growing his target. Cameron wants him out if he stays. Riley wants him out if she stays. The Own Alliance is seeing that if they have a shot at taking him out, if he doesn't win veto, they might as well backdoor him while they can. I don't disagree with that. Some of these Big Brother fans are saying it's too soon. They're only saying it's too soon because they think this game could only be played one way because in Big Brother USA, it's only been played one way for so long now. But it's just not the case. It's just not the case. It can be a more fluid game if played right. And so I don't think it would hurt Cirie that much if she were to somehow go against Hisam this week. I mean, even Felicia is talking about how she feels like she owes Riley a vote this week. If everybody else is going to vote against her, she kind of wants to be the one vote for her to stay. There's possibilities of Riley staying here. And if Hisam continues to do what he's doing this week and kind of irk his Own Alliance, they might easily want to blindside him. And there's really nothing Hisam can do other than win veto next week, which he can, obviously. He's on human growth hormone, so he can, if it's physical, do that. But if not, then he is an easy target next week. So I don't know. I don't want anybody to play scared. I'm sick of everybody on this show specifically playing scared. And then some of the fans, who I usually agree with, placate it because they think it's dumb, but it isn't dumb. There's many ways to play this game, okay? It doesn't have to be, I gotta be loyal to a big alliance for the first half of the game. It's just not the only way to play. So if Cirie were to do that, it is what it is. And some people are afraid that Cirie maybe already put herself in a bad spot because the other side will know that she's not with them. Oh well, who is the other side? It would just be Jag, Blue, and Matt. And frankly, Blue and Matt are useless. So it's really this Jag she would have to worry about. Maybe Matt could win a competition. That's about all he brings to the table. I'm sorry. And then Blue brings nothing to the table. Like I talked about the last 2 days, maybe Blue could play Jared. Doesn't look that way. I think Jared will probably end up playing her because she does nothing but the bare minimum. She can make a few relationships and then she's just a lazy player that does nothing. So at least Jag is trying something here to save Riley. Will it actually work because of the HOH, people being afraid of the HOH? I don't know. I don't know if it's going to work. I don't know what I want. Either way is fine. If Cameron goes, it's fine with me. If Riley goes, it's fine with me. I just want to see a little bit more dynamic gameplay than we usually get from Big Brother. And most importantly, I don't want everybody to play scared because they're afraid of some big alliance and going against their own alliance. Make the game more fluid. Make the game more like Survivor, Cirie. You can do this.